Hello, I am back with another hashtag draw this in your style video where I invite you guys to submit your art so I can draw in my style. I have been obsessed with doing this lately, so I wanted to do another video, so let's just get into it. I'm going to draw your videos. Nope, I'm going to draw your drawings in my style. Okay, so our first artist is Home. Awif is home? Why do you guys do this to me with these hard names? So what really made this particular drawing stand out to me was the colors. The color scheme was really nice. It had a background that was very simple. Even though it's just a gradient, I think that definitely makes a drawing pop, especially when it's compared to a bunch of characters on white backgrounds. Nothing wrong with that, but it really, I guess it grabbed my attention. Not only that, but it's a dog in clothes playing badminton. I mean, what else do you need? The shirt says bad boy, which I just now realized I misspelled. They spelled it with an I. I spelt it with a Y. Womp womp. And the colors were very earthy, which I know I gotta get outside of those earthy colors, but it really spoke to me. So when I saw this illustration, it was silly, it was colorful, it was earthy. What else do you need, right? So I had to redraw this one. Doing these illustrations where you take someone else's style and put it into yours is it's just so fun and interesting to see how different you draw. Those little Dorito ears, I mean, come on, they're just like little triangles that are just hanging out on their head. Something that I thought was really funny was the hand isn't exactly in this position, but it really reminded me of the anime Ranma. They do that position with their hand all the time, so I couldn't get it out of my head. So that's what I ended up doing. Oh, and when it came to the gradient background, of course I couldn't just fill the page with a gradient background. I had to do a classic Kasey move because that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it into my style. So I created a gradiented rectangle with some white on the outside so that the character broke that, I guess, frame, and that's just a classic Kasey move, and I had to do it. I think it really brought it together as my style. And there you go. I hope you like it. Awif is home? Hope your name is Awif is home. Next up is a drawing by Thousand Dragons, who had this character with bat wings. They're floating there. They have purple hair, horns, and I just had to put that cute little face into my style. I also feel like with a character this simple, and even though my style is simple, there's still a lot here to interpret into my style. So it was really interesting to really come up with a way to draw and interpret and see this character, but in a completely different way. So the first thing I started off with was the pose. I thought that the pose was just a little stiff for something that I would draw. When I draw characters, even though they're just kind of standing there, I try to give them some sort of, I wouldn't say too much motion, but I try to make their pose not just like they're standing there awkwardly. Basically, pretend that your character is posing for a photo. Would they just stand there, or would they do, I don't know, strike a pose or something? That's what I try to do, even though my characters are standing around. Have them interacting with something. I typically try to stick to the exact pose, but I don't think my style would look very good with the arms straight down. It looks a lot better in yours. I really wanted to push that feeling that they were floating there in space. Just to give a better impression of floating, I had their shirt kind of floating upwards a little bit, and their legs not so straight down, but one kicking up the other way and one a little more down, so that it just gives the feeling that they aren't, I guess, being held down by gravity. I wanted them to look as light as possible. Though just bending the legs like you did that's all you really need to do, right? Speaking of floating in space, those wings, oh my gosh. So the gradient from purple to pink was so much fun to do. I love these wings. But when I looked up a reference for bat wings, I realized how messed up bat wings actually are. So that was an interesting learning experience. They're disgusting, basically. Anyways, Thousand Dragons, I hope you like this redraw of your drawing. It's a cute character. Next up is a character by Spade the Card, who had this really silly looking rabbit character that looks a little mischievous. Not sure what they're up to, but I do like a little horror in my illustrations, so I couldn't resist this rabbit. I especially wanted to make sure that I got a variety of subjects, so a couple of animals, a couple of humans, one mystery later on. So this little guy was so much fun to draw and really fun to put into my style. Something about bunnies, I think, are just really interesting when it comes to people's art. Everyone has their own way of drawing rabbits and their ears and stuff, so it's really fun to see how different people draw draw them. I think one of the things that really made me want to redraw your drawing is that your head shapes are more of an oval shape, upwards oval, whereas my heads, I usually tend to squish them a little bit. So I knew right away that that was something I thought was really interestingly different from our styles, so I couldn't wait to get into that. Also, please excuse that I am making up the feet situation with this character. I couldn't find a reference with the feet, so I just kind of made up what I thought it was, so hopefully it's not too far off from your character. I also really appreciated the limited color palette with your character, though when it comes to my art, obviously one of the key features is earthy tones, so I don't really like very bright and vivid colors. Something that your character obviously has a lot of. The blue of the overalls is just very vivid, and the light blue of the ears and the hand, again, a very bright light blue color. But when it comes to my art, you know, I gotta tone everything down, so everything got the old earth tone treatment. What's the joke the kids are making these days? My art is dark and boring like my soul and my personality, right? Something like that? I'm just kidding, though I do like to play around with brighter colors, I think, when it comes to environments. Maybe not so much character designs, so I hope you can forgive me. Other than that, this was a really fun character to draw, so thank you so much for submitting, and I hope you like it. So next I thought I would push myself to try something a little more than just a character. So this one is by Star Verza, who drew this witch character hanging out, eating a popsicle, which, by the way, great choice in popsicles. Creamsicles, I always draw those when I need a default popsicle. So when I was scrolling through all of the entries, this one really stood out to me because the colors are just colorful. The character design just really popped out to me. The bold blackness I really liked. Playing around with flat black pieces is something I'm always doing in my illustrations, so I really wanted to see how I can interpret your blackness into my illustrations. This all sounds very weird, but whatever. Pink shorts, high socks, a crop top, big pink round glasses. I mean, how could I not draw this character? I had to. Overall, I think this piece was the most challenging yet. A sitting down position with a leg up, I mean, that's quite a challenging pose. And a foot facing forward, I mean, wow, what a challenge. So overall, even though this was quite a challenge, I absolutely loved working on this piece. There was just so much to work on, and seeing each of the little details that you put into this drawing as I worked on them, which I just realized I forgot the bracelets. No! As I was drawing this, I was really making sure to get everything because there was so much going on, and I forgot the bracelets. I'm very sad. Oh well, in addition to forgetting something, I also thought I would add a little something that I usually, I guess, like to add to my illustrations. So I'm not really sure where this character is sitting, but I felt like maybe it could be a brick wall or something. So really quickly, I just used a very simple watercolor brush sort of technique where I just added some quick brick textures just to add a little more interest, but not so much that it's distracting from this beautiful character. And that is it. I hope I did your character justice. Last but not least is a character by Captain Emilius. I really hate butchering you guys' names. Why do I keep doing this? So I don't know what this character is, or who it is, or what it is, or what the story is, but I know that it has a very interesting design, and also it's very dang cute. There were a few other references given, but I think this was the most basic one, and ooh, this one was really interesting. To be honest, I wasn't really sure what was going on with a lot of this character. The hat or a hood, and the scarf, and the strap, and the poofy little dress thing, and its little feet. There's just so much going on, but so many good little details. Why does it have a teapot hung to the side, huh? Why is it slung in around a teapot? I don't know. All I know is that I'm very invested in this character now, and I want to see more of it. To be honest, I actually think I struggled the most on this one. I thought it would be really easy because it looked kind of simple, but to be honest, putting it into my style, it felt weird. I don't know, it seems like a very interesting character and I wanted to do it justice. It was turning out kind of squished. I wasn't really sure how to stylize some parts of it, especially the little frog eye, or is it bunny ears? I don't even know. But I wasn't sure how to stylize it, and then there's just so many colors with this character. I had to earth them down, but I also kind of want to make some parts of it bright. There were just so many choices to make. I really wasn't prepared for this sort of commitment when redrawing your characters, but I had a lot of fun with this guy. It was a challenge. I need a good challenge. The hardest part about this character when it came to creating it in watercolor was there's a lot of colors touching each other where there's not necessarily line art needed. So especially around the scarf area, I had to put that pink and that blue color right next to each other, and I was so scared that I would reactivate it or layer it too much. But I think it turned out all right. And yeah, that is this little guy. I hope you like it. And that is that. Once again, thank you all so much for submitting your art for me to redraw. I'm sorry I couldn't draw all 5,000 plus of them. Though be sure to follow me on Instagram because I am drawing a lot of these in my free time. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me redraw your drawings. I hope you liked them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! And now a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons for all of their support. You guys are the best. If you want to be in the credits at the end of my videos, see secret sketches, coloring pages, early access, and more, check out my Patreon by clicking a link in the description. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Bye!